Hi Maria, can you hear me? Hi Lynn, from a grey, wet Costa Blanca. I am well, thank you. Are you, Lynn? So who else can I see? I can see Thea. Hi Thea. I can see Denise. I can see Barbara. So not all the comments are coming up on my iPad at the minute, but I can see comments on my phone. From a sunny Cumbria, Barbara's saying, hi Jamila, hope you're okay. Thea saying sound is perfect, that's good to know. Lynn saying can hear you. Maria saying only just hear me. Okay. Marcia is saying hi from across the pond. So hi to you, Marcia. Let's see, any other comments? Barbara's saying looking forward to this as I'm making a small quilt at present. Charlotte's saying hi. Patricia's saying hello. So all the comments are coming through quicker on my phone than they are on my iPad, which is directly in front of me, so I'm having to look down to my phone. Marcia's saying had tornadoes here in Iowa last night, 7 killed. Oh dear, Marcia, I hope you're all okay. Maria's saying can hear me okay now. Perfect, brilliant. Okay, so we'll wait just for a couple of more minutes just to see if anybody else pops on, and let's see what you've all been up to. So today's project is going to be, I think, probably the simplest thing I've ever done. But that actually just reminds me that one of the vital bits I need is missing, so just bear with me. Because I don't know where it is. Oh no. Oh my lord. Just talk amongst yourselves while I find me snaps. Don't know what I've done with them. Meant to get them out before I went live. Completely forgot. Now I can't find them. Great. Oh, blimey O'Reilly, what have I done with them? Found them, they were under something. You know when you know where you think something is and you go to look and you can't see it? So I was just having a mild panic. Let me have a look at my phone because I can see lots of other comments. Hi Cherie, glad you're okay Marcia, so sad for the families and friends of those lost. Hi Ashley and everyone, first time joining live for a while. Well, you're welcome Mandy G. Hope you and Eddie are okay. We are, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not very organised, Mandy, because I've been doing a 3-hour intense training with a trainer with him today, trying to whip him into shape to see if we can work on this anxiety. Patricia's saying my first time joining from Rochdale in the UK. Well, welcome Patricia. Jamila's saying the soup looked delicious. Have I missed something? What soup? Who's having soup? I will put a pic of the quill on your forum, Ashley, maybe next week. Perfect, Barbara, that's fine. Hi, Susan. I'm from Chadderton, Patricia. Karine is saying hi everyone. Sian is saying hi Ashley, hope your back's better. My back is tons better, thank you Sian. Let's see. So I've missed something about soup, but I don't know what's going on. I'm going back to see what's being said. I'm still in bed, not well. Had a few days of your videos and I feel so proud I managed to knock out texting Inkscape. Yay. Oh, well done you, Jamila. First time joining from Rochdale, got that. Then there's the comment about soup, which I'm not sure what's that's all about. So Lynn's saying, have just purchased Scal and struggling to do things I do in seconds in Canvas. Oh, the joys of different software, same process, all different names. Definitely. It's like these, what is it, the Cricut software. You know that you can probably do the stuff in Cricut Design Space, but they just have different terminology for it, and it's just getting used to it all, isn't it? I stopped using Inkscape because it crashed my old Mac, and then when I got my new Mac I decided I didn't want to put it on, so I really now only use Canvas Workspace. Oh, my soup maker, you've watched an old video, sorry. I just saw soup look delicious and thought I'd missed something. Yeah, I've still got that soup maker and I still use it. And which one was it that was really, really nice? The butternut squash. I think I did a video on that. The butternut squash that's got a tiny amount of mild chili powder in it is absolutely lovely. In fact, I need to make some of that again at some point in the future. Thea's saying, sorry you're unwell, Jamila, and sending you hugs. Right, let's get rid of this. So, hang on, let me find my bits and pieces. Told you I wasn't organised. So, I bet you've all got cords like this, haven't you? Cords for phones, cords for earphones, phones for computers, and if you're anything like me, they're all in a drawer. If you remember, you put a note on them like this one says, keyboard/mouse charger. But, you know, you kind of fold them up and put them in a bit of a tie, and sometimes they come undone like these have done here. I think this is two different sets here. And they get all jumbled up in your drawer. So we're going to make a little cord tidy, and it's going to be the easiest thing I think I've ever done or showed you. Some of you probably already know how to do it. Some of you may not, but this is what we're going to do. So what's Karine saying? Oh, I need to go back now. Comments have just jumped all of a sudden. I'm in the same boat. I wish I could get my head around Scal, Karine's saying. Thanks, Thea. Yes, it did look wonderful. I got Soup Maker a few months back. It's really good. They are good, yeah. I tend to use mine more in the winter, to be fair, though, than the summer months. And soup may help my lungs get them warm at the minute. Yeah, good idea. I'm trying to think what I did. I did I do a carrot and coriander, which I got from the back of a packet of lentils. I think I did that, but I'm sure I did the butternut squash one and it was lovely. Really, really nice. And then obviously, just regular plain old veg, just buy a bag of mixed veg from the supermarket and throw it in with a stock cube and some water, and 20 minutes down the line you've got a nice soup. I like mine blended. I don't like mine with chunks. So I tend to put mine all on blend, but it's whatever you prefer. Have only purchased Scal as my online conversion software failed me and needed to convert some designs to get onto my website. Oh, super neat cord tidies, Marcia is saying. Well, Marcia, this is just like going to be the easiest thing ever. So let's flick you over to the ScanNCut machine, and we'll make a start. One thing I will say while I remember, what day is it? Sunday, so not tomorrow, but a week tomorrow. So a week, it's a Monday, a week tomorrow, which will be the, what are we now, the 6th, 7th. So Monday the 14th, I am supposed to be doing a Facebook Live for Makers Superstore. So it'll probably be hosted on their Facebook page. But for anybody that doesn't do Facebook or can't make it, if you can't make it and you do Facebook, it'll stay on their Facebook page as far as I'm aware. I think all the other ones I've done have. But if you don't like Facebook, I'm going to try and get it so I can put it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure yet, but we'll work it out so that everybody will be able to get to see it. I'm going to be doing some projects with the rotary blade. Now I've made 3 prototypes. I'm not going to show you because I said that I'd kind of keep it a bit of a secret for now until makers are ready to put it out on social media. But what I can tell you is I'm going to be using like faux leather, the rotary blade, and I'm going to be using heat transfer vinyl. So if you're free a week tomorrow, come and join me on Maker's Facebook page. I think it's going to be 2 p.m, but hopefully sometime this week they'll start putting information out, and then I'll probably put something on my blog as well, so that if you want to join me, you can join me. So what I'm doing tonight has got nothing to do with what I'm doing for them next week, but I am going to be using the fabric mat and the rotary blade tonight. So this is just going to be a simple little project. Marcia's saying it's an electric kettle, put all the raw ingredients in, turn on, walk away, let it do its magic, then you get soup. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what it is basically. It looks like a kettle. It's got like a blade inside it that can mash up all your ingredients if you like smooth soup like I do, or you can leave it chunky. So Barbara's saying that's very thoughtful, Ashley. I don't do Facebook. I know there's a few people that don't do Facebook, and I don't particularly do it, as you know. Although this software that I use on a Sunday night can now go live not only on YouTube but and Facebook. So at some point in the future, if I get brave, I'm going to try and do a YouTube live that pushes out to my Facebook business page as well, and see if that works. But yeah, for the one I'm doing for makers, it will be actually kind of hosted on their Facebook page, so I'll like be taking over their page for an hour or so. So I'll work out how I can then get it to either put it on my website or try and if I can download it somehow, download it and then upload it to YouTube. But hopefully we'll work it out. Right, we're on the machine. The machine's gone to sleep, so let's wake it up. So let me find my spatula. So if you ask me any questions from here on in and I don't answer them, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just that I'm looking at my ScanNCut screen and my iPad is over to my left. So I can't kind of divide my eyes to look in different directions. So just ask me again later if I miss anything. Okay, we're going to go to pattern. I'm assuming that you can all see the ScanNCut screen because I can see it on my phone. Let me just see, I've just seen some comments pop up on my phone. Denise is saying, I absolutely love the rotary blade. Yeah, me too. Right, let me put that back down there out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to go into basic shapes and I'm going to scroll down until I find a scallop circle. And I'm going to choose this one on the top row, far right. It's BA-A050. Now, everybody should have this shape, no matter what ScanNCut machine you've got, as far as I'm aware, because it's part of the very, very basic shapes. I'm going to leave the maintain aspect ratio icon, which is this one here on the right hand side that looks like an upward facing arrow and a horizontal arrow. I'm going to leave that as it is because I want to adjust the size in proportion. So I'm going to, it doesn't matter whether I use the width or the height because the measurement is both the same. I'm going to take the width down to 3 inches. So Jamila's saying can see clearly but the volume is low. Okay. I'll turn my microphone round. So Jamila, is that any better? And I'm going to take the height down to 3 inches. So now we've got a scallop circle that's 3 inches in diameter. And I'm going to say set and just put it on my mat. So now I'm going to come back to my overhead camera and I'm using the fabric mat for this, and I'm going to put a piece of cork, and this is the cork that you saw me use a few weeks ago when I was doing all the test cuts with the rotary blade, and it's cork on the front and it's fabric on the back. So Jamila's saying the sound's not good now. Is anybody else having sound issues? Because I've got the volume turned up and I've not done anything different than when I first started, and everybody said the volume was okay. So just let me know before we go any further. I'll just have a quick drink of my juice while I'm waiting. So Mandy's saying the sound's good for you. So is Kareen. So everybody seems to be saying the sound's good and that you can all hear me. So Jamila, maybe go out of YouTube and come back in and see if that does anything. Or have you knocked the sound down on your device by any chance? Because everyone else is saying it's all okay. And I've not done anything different from when I first came on and everybody was saying the sound was okay. So I'm going to plod on. So I've got my piece of cork on my fabric mat. I'm going to go back to the machine, load this mat. Just getting my fabric blade out. So everybody's saying sounds good. Mandy's saying Kareen, Lady Fair, Maria all saying sound is okay. So I'll plod on. So normally my TV volume is at 0. It's on 20 now and still low. Okay, Cherie's saying sounds good for her. So I'm not sure, Jamila, what's going on for you tonight. But if it gets too painful for you, it will be recorded, so you can always come back and watch it later. But I honestly don't know because, like I say, I've not done anything different from when I started and everybody else seems to be saying it's all okay. So I'm just going to crack on. Right, so we should be back on the ScanNCut screen. I'm going to do a background scan and I'm going to start and scan this mat for this piece of cork that I've got on my mat. So if I just move my camera ever so slightly, you should be able to see the mat going in and out with the piece of cork on it. You've not changed the volume. Must be my head full of rubbish. Oh, bless you. Okay, so let's go into the little wrench on the right hand side and I'm going to change the background to dark and say okay in the hope that you can probably see this piece of cork a bit better. And I'm just going to grab this little 3-inch scallop circle and position it on the piece of cork. I'm going to take out my regular blade and I'm going to put in my rotary blade. I'm going to come back to the screen. If I can just move my camera ever so slightly. And I'm going to say, OK, select, cut. And I'm just going to go into the wrench and make sure half cut is, oh yeah, see, I was cutting some vinyl the other day, making some prototypes for the makers Facebook I'm doing. So I need to turn half cut off because that was from when I was cutting heat transfer vinyl. So I'm going to say OK, and now I'm going to press start. So hopefully now the rotary blade is going to cut this scallop circle. So let's see what everyone's saying. Lady Fair is saying turn on closed captioning if you can. Hi Lynn, Lynn's saying good afternoon. I'm really sorry, hello from Germany, but I honestly don't know how to say that name. Is it pronounced as in Mike, or is it Meek? I'm really sorry, I don't want to butcher your name. Jamila's saying no worries, you can carry on. If they are okay, I will watch the bits I miss again on the recording, no problem. Heather's saying hi Ashley and everyone, just joined, this looks exciting. Well Heather, don't get your hopes up too high because I think this is the simplest thing I've ever done in a video. So right, so let me just bring it's finished. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Not that I don't doubt the ability of the rotary blade by any stretch of the imagination, because you all saw me do the live test cutting a few weeks ago, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to lift up a corner of the cork and just peel it back a little bit just to make sure that this has cut. Now, see, I spoke too soon because it hasn't cut through, and I don't know why, because I cut this cork in the live the other week and it cut fine. So what I'm going to do, just check that I've got the blade in okay, and I'm going to say okay. Sorry, you can't see this, can you? So I'm just going to come back to the screen. So I just said okay to get me back here, and I'm going to press select, cut. Just double check that the half cut I did turn off. Yeah, half cut off. So that's not the excuse, and we'll press start and I'll do it again. And let's hope that this time it cuts through. Now I don't understand why it's not cut, because a few weeks ago I cut cork and I'm sure it cut the first time, no worries, but I honestly can't remember. So we'll just wait, it's not an issue. But if you're ever unsure, don't unload your mat, just take a peek on a corner and see if it's cut through, and if it hasn't you can always just send it to cut again. So Jamila's saying, that reminds me, did you get the tip I left you for the vinyl about burnishing the back before you weed it? Yes I did, thank you Jamila, yes I did. Okay, so that's now finished, so I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm just going to lift a corner of the cork and see, this time now it's cut. So I know this time I'm safe to unload the mat. But before I do that, I'm just going to come back to my overhead camera, because there's a couple of people that have said tonight that they're just joining me live for the first time. So a couple of weeks ago in a Sunday Night Live, I did some test cutting with this rotary blade, and these are all the things I cut. So there's some fabric, some felt, quilting cotton, faux vinyl. There's the piece, the cork that I'm using tonight that I cut. This is a kind of like linen canvas type fabric. It's kind of like a light furnishing type fabric. This was like a chiffon type material. Don't know if you can see how flimsy it is. I did one on the fabric mat, but because this was very fine, it kind of frayed the edges as I was pulling it off. Then I cut the same circle just on a regular mat, and that cut perfect. I cut a piece of batting, I cut some calico, and then all these bits here are all the bits that the cutouts were cut out of. So I did some, I put the rotary blade through its paces a few weeks ago. So for anybody that is just joining tonight new, and you're wondering maybe about the rotary blade, it can cut all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to unload this mat and peel away this cork. And I don't know, I maybe took that away a bit too quick. You can see it's cut perfectly. I'm going to flip the mat over just to try and loosen the cork a little. Just pop that mat over there. So what I'm going to do with this now, I'm hoping that this is somewhere near symmetrical. And basically we're going to fold it in half and we're going to fasten it with a snap. So that's how simple this project is going to be. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I've got my little box with my snaps here on the side. And the first thing I'm going to do is, let's just fold it either way and see which way it looks best. So it is kind of symmetrical because all the curves are lining up together. But I don't know how I want to fold it. I don't know whether I want to fold it. Let's have a look. Might do it, yeah, I'll do it like that. So I'm going to pierce a hole through here. Hi Rachel, hope you're okay. Jamila's saying, I've got gremlins, it's just kicked me off. I'm back though. Oh no, you're having problems tonight, Jamila, aren't you? So this mat that I'm working on here, this blue mat, is a self-healing mat. So I'm going to poke a hole, probably about 1/2 inch down, kind of central to where these two scallops are. I think something like that. I'll just stick that in there for now. And then I'm going to grab some snaps. So I think I'll use brown for this. So these are little plastic snaps which you can get the prongs in different lengths. I'm not sure how well you're going to see this. Can try and tilt it to the side. It's not focusing. Hang on, can you see that? So these prongs that are on these flat bits, you can get these in different lengths. I honestly don't know. Does it tell me on the box? See if it says anything. It says T3, if that means anything to anybody. Cherie, or if Vicky's on here, they may know. But you can get these prongs different lengths. So I'm hoping that these ones that I've got will go through this cork. So I need 2 of those with the prongs, and then I need 1 each of these. Now again, I'm going to try and hold them up. Not sure how well you're going to see them, but they are slightly different. I think they kind of call them like a male and female. So Jamila's saying, I have tons of cam snaps. I love them. These are not technically cam. I mean, when I went looking for them, well, I don't think they are. When I went looking for them, I did type in cam snaps and I got them on Amazon. But the little tool that comes with them doesn't say cam, so I'm not sure like whether they're actually cam or whether they're an alternative make. But they're kind of virtually the same thing. So let me just check if I've got the right bits now, because I'm not so sure I've got the right. That's what I need. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm not sure how well you're going to see these, but This one is rounder than this one. So they're like classed as a male and a female. So you need one each of those, and then you need two of the ones with the prong, okay? And then you put one prong with one of these and one prong with one of these, and it doesn't matter which, because your prongs are the same, okay? So you need, let me put them there and them there, and just put this box out of the way. Let's see. No, they are the same, she's saying to me. Okay, so I'm going to line this back up again, and I'm just going to puncture a hole through. And what you want to do, you want the one with the prong going in from the outside, like so. So you see the button, if you like, on the outside, and the prong comes through. And then you get your other one and you pop that on top. Then you get this tool with it and you slide it in like so, and you squeeze. And when you let go, it's put your snap together. So then you do the same on the other. So you take your other one with your prong and you push it through your hole that you've made with the piercing tool that comes with it. And then you get the other one and you pop that on there. And then again, you get your little tool, and the one with like the dish on the outside goes into this little black dish. So you just slide that in, and then you just squeeze. And then it's done. So now you bring in your cord and you wrap it up, and I suppose you can tuck it through like so. And then you get this, and hopefully this will go through there, and you snap it together, and that is your cord tidy. And this is like an iPhone cord. So if you remember, I made this 3 inches. So 3 inches is, you know, probably big enough for that, and I would think it would be big enough for if you've got earphones that are on a cord, you know, rather than the earbuds now that are cordless. If you've got the ones that are still a cord, I would think 3 inches would do for earphones as well. If you've got anything like a cord for your sewing machine, hang on, let me just... So say something like this has nenever been opened because I've never used it, but you know, if you've got a cord that's thicker like this, then I would make if you use this scallop circle, I would make that bigger to accommodate the thickness. I would probably go maybe to 5 inches. But for things like, you know, phone tidies or earphone tidies, then I think 3 inches would be perfect. So that's that. So what we'll do, I'll cut another one because I've got another cord here, and I'll do it 3 inches the same, and I'll use the same shape, but this time I'll cut it from a piece of like faux leather. So let me just see what we're saying. So Jamila's saying that's right now because I'd got the 2 wrong pieces, yeah. Jamila's saying, I got the prim tools separate as I find with my stupid hands they are too hard for me. That's so cute, need to make them now when I can stand again. And Lynn's saying great idea. So the simple little ideas, if you've got little scraps of cork or faux leather or faux vinyl, not the vinyl that you use, you know, like not the heat transfer vinyl, not vinyl, you know, that you put on glassware and stuff like that, but you know, hang on, where's my samples? Let me find me a bit of vinyl. So this kind of vinyl, you know, this kind of vinyl that's a bit like a faux leather, anything like this, if you've got any scraps, then these would be, you know, a good thing to make, especially if you've got the cam snaps, because when you buy a little kit like this, you get absolutely loads. So it's just a way of using them, and they'd be good little stocking fillers, or if you want to give like teacher gifts or anything like that. And if they don't know what they are, you could just put a little note on it, you know, saying cord tidy or something like that. And then obviously when you want to use it, you just unsnap it and you know, you're good to go. So let's just pop that one back together and put that through there. So that's that one. So now I'm going to use a piece of this. So this is just like a faux smooth leather. I'm just going to cut a chunk away and I'll do another one in black. Maria's saying lovely idea. So I'm just going to cut a chunk. Just want to have enough. I don't want to, you know, be too skimping with my vinyl. So let's put this on one side. So I'll put my piece of cork on one side. I'll bring my fabric mat back in. And I am going to cut this with the faux leather side up. So the kind of fabric side down. If you find yours isn't sticking to your mat, you might want to try, you know, putting it the other way down. Just bear in mind, if you're using something that's not, that's kind of directional, you might have to flip your design. But for this particular thing we're doing tonight, it seems to be a pretty symmetrical, you know, shape. So I'm just going to put it on the mat and I'm going to put it faux leather side up. Okay. So Lynn's saying there's lots of type of stuff here in Spain they use for white clean tablecloths, and it would be put, yeah, anything like that, Lynn. You know, something that's not going to fray. So the cork shouldn't fray. This kind of faux leather, or the one I've just shown you, the blue one, anything like that, they don't tend to fray. So they're good for that kind of thing. You could always decorate the front if you wanted to, you know, with a piece of glitter vinyl or something like that. But, you know, for a cord tidy where you're just folding it in half, you probably just want to keep it simple. And you could, you know, put several of these on your mat and just cut, you know, several at a time. So let's go back to the machine. So it says it's finished cutting. I'm going to load the fabric mat. So what's Jamila saying? Maybe make labels from adhesive vinyl for them on the ScanNCut. Yeah, you could. You could put, you know, cut, like you say, cut iPhone cord or something like that and put the vinyl on top of the cork. Anything. But for something like this, I probably wouldn't bother. But yeah, you could do, rather than doing, let me flip the camera back. So rather than having like a piece of paper like I've got on here actually on the cord, you could put, you know, keypad charger, cut that in black vinyl and cut it small enough, you know, measure the diameter of whatever you're using. Like I say, this is 3 inches, but bear in mind we're folding it in half. So we've only got about 1.5 inches, and then a chunk of that's taken up for the snap. So you'd probably only want to do your letters maybe about 1/2 inch high by, you know, say 2.5 inches wide. And then you could put your vinyl on there, and then, you know, they're all labelled that way rather than having bits of paper like this. So let's go back to the screen. So I've still got the shape on from before. I'm going to hit the back button so that I can scan the mat again and press start, because now we've got this piece of black faux leather. Okay, now because I'm using black, it's very dark and I can see half the scallop, but I'm going to hit the wrench icon and make the background lighter so that my piece of black kind of faux leather looks more pale now, so I can see where this is going. I'm going to put the scallop in position. Let's see what we're saying. So Karine is saying, would the regular blade cut faux leather? I don't know, but we can try it in a minute. So let's cut this with the rotary blade first, because like I say, it's a really simple project. We'll say OK, we'll press select. I've still got the rotary blade in. We'll press cut and we'll press start. Just bring you down ever so slightly. Don't like moving the camera a lot because I know some people get motion sickness, don't they? But we'll see what happens with this. Now, I've only just got this piece of black faux leather this week, so this wasn't used in the test cutting I did a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not going to unload the mat. I'm going to just peel a corner back and see if it's cut through before I unload it. So it's staying lighter longer now at nights, isn't it? Anybody that's in the UK, what are we now? We're on 20 to 6 and it's still light. I mean, not all that long ago, it was dark at like 4 o'clock, wasn't it? So the nights are getting longer, I should say. Okay, so it's saying, not that you can see, but the screen is saying it's okay, it's finished. So I'm just going to leave you looking at the mat and I'm going to peel up a corner and see if it's cut. And I can see that that has cut through. Scallops are looking a bit funny in a couple of places, but I think it'll be okay. So what we'll do before we unload this mat, let me take you back to the screen. I'm going to go back to the screen. I'm going to say okay, finish cutting. Hit the back button. Now, where's the test? Is it under edit or is it under add pattern? Let's just hit the home button. I need to find a test cut. Here we go. So it says test. So I'm going to choose test and I must have a triangle selected. I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, but I'm going to try and move it up over onto this piece of black vinyl. I'm going to zoom in, so I don't know how well you'll see that, but my little test triangle is there. I'm just going to move it over a bit more because I can't see the other shape at the moment. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to do a background scan and start, just so that I can see if I've got the test cut away from the scallop that I've just cut. Lynn's saying it's weird how it jumps around instead of a single pass, isn't it? Yeah, I believe that's so that the blade can get in the right orientation, but I honestly don't know. So I still can't see my scallop, but I think my little test cut's in the right place. So what I'm going to do now, let's just, so you know what I'm doing. I'm going to take the rotary blade out and I'm just going to put the regular blade in and we'll see if the regular blade will cut it or not. So I'll come back to the screen and I'll do select, cut and start, and I'll just move you down and let's see if it cuts. Jamila's saying clocks change at the end of the month too. Yeah, so we'll gain an extra hour, won't we, which is nice. Now it looks as though it wants to cut this twice because it's done the triangle and then it went away. So let's see. I'm going to peel this corner away and see if it's cut. and it has. So using the ordinary blade on the auto blade machine, it's cut. Okay, so let's come back to the overhead and I'll unload the mat. Just put some bits and pieces away. I'm going to put the cover back on my rotary blade. So let's have a look. So there's the, oh, if I can get hold of it, there's the test triangle that you've just seen me cut with the regular blade. Now it did cut it and then it went and, you know, centered itself again and went back and cut it twice. But when I was looking at it, watching it cut, I have a feeling that it would have cut it in one cut, but either way it does cut with the regular blade. So that's that answered. And then I'm going to peel this. Lynn's saying we lose an hour when the clocks go forward. Yeah, do you know what I meant? It stays lighter longer. That's what I meant. But anyway, so with this one, I'm not sure how well you'll see it, but it's kind of, because it kind of stops and then the blade has to move to cut the next one. On a couple of the scallops, it's just not quite got the roundness, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not unduly bothered by that. I mean, for this project, I'm not unduly bothered. I would think probably if you were cutting this bigger, it probably would maybe be, you know, better. But for me, it looks fine. So I'm just going to, this time I'll just do it in the middle of a scallop. So I'll just pierce a hole. So Lynn's saying, think it's giving the odd scallop shape because of the way the rotary blade cuts. Yeah, I do, Lynn. I think you're right. So I'm just going to push this through so it comes through from the front to the back or back to front, whichever way you want, doesn't really matter, just to get a hole there. And then, so with the black, what colour snap should we have? We could put probably most of these colours. We could use black, but black on black I'm not sure. Don't know whether to use a colour. Maybe that peachy colour might be quite nice. There's grey. There's all different colours. There's a cream, that might stand out nice. I'll just choose one. I'll choose this kind of, whatever this is, this orangey colour. So we want 2 with the prongs, and then we want 2 of these but opposites. We just have to have a rummage around in here and find, don't know how well whether you see these any different. You'll know if you buy your own, you'll know exactly what I mean, that the 2 circular ones look similar but they are different. So we've got 2 of them and 2 of the prongs. So I'm just going to take that out of there. I'm going to push one of the prongs through that hole. Oh, I've just seen someone said top left, but it's too late. I've got this out now. So I'm going to push this through, put that on there, find my little implement, pop that in there and squeeze. Then I'm going to get the other one, push that one through from the right side if you like. Pop that through, pop that one on, get my little handheld thing again, and squeeze, and there's that one. And then you snap them together or unsnap them. Let's find another little cord. Put that through and fasten. There you go. So that's one and that's your other. So two very simple little quick projects made using, again, built-in shapes that are in your machine, a bit of, you know, spare faux leather or cork, and a couple of snaps. So what do you all think? Let me have a tidy up and put these bits and pieces away. Told you it was simple. And, you know, depending on how tight or loose you wind your cord will determine, you know, how snug your little holder is. This one you can see, yeah, I've wound it looser than this one. This one moves a lot, so I could tighten it up again if I wanted to, if I can get the snaps apart. I think what I'd probably do as well with this, because this is quite thin, with this one, if you look at this one, I positioned it so it was kind of centrally to two scallops. This one, I've positioned it on the scallop. I think I'd be inclined to do it like I've done this one, put it lower down. I just can't get a grip on this one at the moment now with my fingers. So I'm just going to leave it for now. But there, you know, there's just a tip. Now I've done it two ways. If you use this shape, fold it and position it down in centrally, can you see, to these two scallops, rather than like that actually on a scallop, because I'm struggling to get my fingers in there and pull this apart with this being thinner. Okay, this is a bit more sturdy. So two projects, two little quick things done. Jamila's saying I love them, simple enough. Think it's really good idea, thank you, Lynn's saying. So yeah, give it a go. As I say, if this size I'm sure would work for earphones. If you've got anything like bigger cords like I showed you before, then I would, if you use the shape, I'd make it bigger. I'd probably go to 5 inches for something like that cord I showed you before. What you could always do, if you've not got much scrap, cut it out of a piece of paper or thin card at say 5 inches and see if that works as a template on your cord. And if it doesn't, then you've only wasted a piece of paper or card, you know, and then make it maybe 5.5 or 6 inches rather than cutting it from say your cork or your vinyl and it's not the right size. You probably always find some cord in your house somewhere that it would fit, do you know what I mean? But if you want to make it for a specific cord and you're unsure, cut it in card or paper first and just wrap it round your cords and see if it's going to work. And that way then you're not wasting, you know, any, especially if you're using scraps. You know, there's nothing worse than thinking, oh, I'll use up that piece of scrap, and then you go and cut it and it's the wrong size. So that's tonight's project. Definitely good for taking things on holiday, Barbara. Yeah, you know, things that you put in your hand luggage or in your regular luggage, it keeps everything tidy, doesn't it? And it'd probably work the same, you know, with things like if you take a hairdryer or hair straighteners, you know, the cords on those, make them bigger. As I say, test it with a piece of paper or card first and make them bigger, and that would probably keep all your cords on your hair dryers and your straightening irons or whatever they're called, you know, together as well, and they're not all unravelling then in your luggage or in your hand luggage. So I'm going to put the cover on my fabric mat So has anybody got any last minute questions before I go? But I think this has got to be an absolute record because it's like 5 to 6. I don't think I've ever done a live in just an hour. But I did tell you at the beginning it was a simple project. So I'll put the cover back on that. I like the snaps, must look for them. Thea, if you go on something like Amazon or eBay and you type in cam snaps, K-A-M, and then snaps, they'll come up. I think I got mine in Amazon and it came in that kit, so everything that you need is with it. So Charlotte's saying, if you're buying cork, what should one look for? Thickness, general name of cork, etc. I typed in, when I looked for mine, I honestly can't even remember where I got mine from. I've had it a good while and I bought it with some faux vinyl, and I think I bought it all from the same company, but I've no idea where I bought it from. I think you look for what's called cork fabric rather than, you know, cork that you'd use on a cork board, because that type of cork is like cork on the back and front. You want one that's got like the fabric on the back in. So if you type in cork fabric, Charlotte, you'll probably find something. So oh, hang on, is Jamila? It's something I would have not thought of doing, but I will now, and maybe after having a ScanNCut since 2017 and buying it to cut fabric, maybe it's about time, about to get used for what you bought it for. Brilliant. Maria's saying thank you. Lynn's saying, I live opposite an upholstery. I will raid him of his faux leather tomorrow. Yeah, just go and ask him, has he got any offcuts or any scraps? That's what I did with my vinyl, you know, the vinyl that you put on like glasses and pencil cases and that kind of thing. We have a sign writer in the village I live in, and I just went and asked him, did he have any scraps? And he said he had some end of rolls, and he literally sold me an absolute stack of end of rolls for, I think, probably about £10, but I've probably got like, I don't know, £50, £100 worth of vinyl, something like that. Charlotte's saying, I have a general forum question. Would you be okay with us discussing SCAL as well as Canvas Workspace on your forum? Charlotte, yes, if you want to ask anybody about SCAL. I don't use it, never have. But, you know, if you want to ask it in the forum, then if anybody wants to help answer your question, then yeah, I'm sure there'll be somebody that'll, you know, try and help you out. Lynn's saying, just checked AliExpress, have them too. Got round heart and star. I presume you're talking about the snaps. Yeah, they come in all different shapes. I just got like the basic, mine was I think called a starter kit. So it came in that little box with all those different colours in, and mine are all round. And as I said before, the prong on them is shallow. You can get them, I know, with longer prongs if you're going through thicker stuff. But for the projects I've used my snaps on, I've done a couple of other things with the snaps. If you remember, I did the hand sanitizer holder last year. Trying to think what else I've done, but I've used the snaps in a few projects now, and they've been fine. Thank you. I'll look for cork fabric. I'm overrun by loose cords. We all are, aren't we? You seem to get a cord for everything these days, don't you? Heather says, you may think it's simple in doing, Ashley, but it's an ingenious idea. Oh, thank you. I've no idea what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to try and do something on the computer. I know Jamila asked me about something, and somebody else had also asked me about something before Jamila, and I can't remember what it was. So it might be, you know, something we do in Canvas Workspace or Canva or something next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. Material Girl in Sutton is good. I have never been, Jamila's saying. I agree, Heather. And thanks for the forum. Okay, too. I'm hoping we can get each other through SCAL. Okay, like I say, Lynn, was it Lynn who said she was using it? So if you've got a particular question, then somebody may be able to help you. I personally don't feel inclined to buy in another piece of software at the moment. Like I say, I used to use Inkscape, but it kept crashing my Mac. So when I got a new one, and I've never used it. I've not used it in years. So any of the Inkscape videos that are on my YouTube channel are all very old. But now we've got Canvas Workspace for computer as well that can kind of do a bit more than the online. I don't kind of have any need for another piece of software at the moment. So Lynn is saying, did you join the Scal Facebook group? So yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to say goodbye because it's dead on 6 o'clock now. So I've been on an hour. I'll take a picture of these. I'll put them in the thumbnail. And if anybody's got any particular questions regarding this particular live tonight, you know that there's a Sunday night live section now on the forum. You can go and ask about, you know, what we've done tonight, the cord tidies. But then if you've got a general question, just go and ask it on the forum. If I can answer it, I will. If not, somebody else will. And then hopefully I'll see you all next Sunday. So thanks for being with me, being here with me, everybody. I hope, Jamila, you start to feel better soon. And I'd not seen Alison's name on here, but I know Alison and Jim have not been well. So if they do watch this at a later time, I'm sending, you know, thoughts and hugs to you too. And anybody else that might be feeling under the weather. So hopefully I'll see you all next week. So take care, everybody, and bye.